Hello, this is the first startup video for our first project in the class. And so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be working with some big databases and try to get it down to a population of fire events that is going to be useful for our linear regression project. I'll warn you because some of you are working with the VPN and the virtual lab. Some of this data is just enormous, and so those systems may completely crash on this. But it is important for you guys to have a little exposure to this process because these big databases are the ones that you're going to be using for your research and thereafter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this first video together, and I want you all to attempt to do this. But if it's completely failing because of capacity issues and everything else, then we'll figure out a way around that we'll start a step later. But these are all really useful methods when you're working with big publicly available databases. You need to have a lot of different strategies that help you manipulate data and get it into a format that's reasonable. And that's what we're going to work on today. Okay, we'll begin with our D2L system, and we're in the home page. From the home page, just click on the content menu, and it'll take us to this new contents. There we will have a new project, project 1, ordinary least squares. And we'll have 3 different things in here. The first thing that we want to do is look at this one for the U.S. Fire Administration Fire Department census. Now, when I was putting this project together, one of the biggest issues was how am I going to create a unit of analysis? And so I thought about it for a while, and I figured that the most useful way to kind of gather this data is at the county level, because it allows us to go get census data and other information that we can potentially use for independent variables. Most fire departments are organized on the county level, and so that's just kind of our basic unit of analysis. From this fire administration, you can go out there and you can pull a national list of all these fire departments and their different codes. One thing that I was concerned about when putting together the list of counties that we're going to use is we really wanted to have kind of reliable data, and reliable data is going to come from larger counties. So what I eventually came up with was using kind of the largest counties in the nation, and we're going to take about 50 of those and use them as kind of a population of big fire departments. Okay, from this census data then, what I did is I went through and created another database that we're going to use, and it's going to be these kind of 50 counties database. So if we go back to our D2L site and we go to the project 1, in there is going to be this kind of pols6123-50 counties, and so these are going to be the constituent fire departments that we're going to be pulling information from the National Fire Information database. So we'll just download these. I've already got it up over here. So here what we see is we've got all these different counties. The biggest one was Los Angeles. It went to Cook County, to Harris, Maricopa, and all the way down to the last one we did was Marion County, Indiana. And so the criteria for this particular population is counties and career-only fire departments in these counties that had a population greater than 900,000, and it was local, not federal fire departments. So it wasn't associated with an Army base, it wasn't associated with whatever else. It was associated with a local level of analysis. From that census data, we also get some information about the counties, the number of stations in that department, the number of firefighters, and the number of civilians that are in support. And so we're going to be using those to create our dependent variables later on. But this is going to be our 508, or actually 507 by the time we take that header row out. 507 not counties, but fire departments that we are going to pull information on. And then we're going to aggregate that on a county level. Now, from our list of fire departments at the county level, we need to progress to the raw aggregate data. And so let's go back to the main menu. In our little Project 1 OLS container here, we've got the huge data, and let me tell you, it's big. So I'm actually going to time this, but we're going to open this and we're going to download it. And it's big, so I'm going to pause this and tell you how long it takes. Okay, so it took a little more than a minute and a half, about a minute, almost 2 minutes, to download that zip file. So depending on, and that's with a normal kind of cable connection. So a couple minutes it'll take you to get it all the way down, and that's in zip format. Let's take a look. It'll be in this download file for me. Let me see. Here's the file. I'm going to pull this one out. Because it's a zip file, what you have to do is you have to open it, and it'll work the same way with PC. And in there we have a text file labeled basic incident, and this is quite a big file. It's got, can't tell you how many thousands of lines of data it's got in it, but that's what we're going to use for our project. And these are the fire incidents reported for the year of 2012. Now, with that data unzipped, we're ready to open up our stats package because we're going to import this into SPSS and make it useful. That's going to take a little bit. The first thing I have to do is I had to be on the VPN, so I'm already connected, and so I'm going to start the statistics package. That's SPSS. Now when the statistics package opens, it looks just like a spreadsheet, but there are these two levels. There's a data view and a variable view, and you will be working with these as we go through. We're going to start by trying to import this data. So we'll go to the Open tab up here on the left. We'll go down to our desktop, and we're just going to search it out. We're going to look for text files because that's what we made. That's what we're looking for. And there it is, basic incident text. And we're going to hit open. Now this will get us to the import wizard, and the import wizard is really important, and you have to make sure that you set this up just right, otherwise it's going to be a problem. Let's just do, it is not a preordained format, so we'll continue. It is a delimited file, so you'll click that. Are the variable names included in the top row? They actually are. You can see it gives you a preview, so we'll put a yes there. We'll continue on. Each line represents a case. First case of the data begins on line 2. That's because we have that header row. How many cases? We're going to import all of them, and there are quite a few, and we're going to continue on. Now the delimiter in this case are these little carets, right? And so what we have to do is we have to hit Other, get in Shift and 6 puts that caret in there, and see how that kind of took those out, and it makes our rows import correctly. Our text qualifier is going to be a double quote, and so that's going to work. Now this is actually really important. Some of these data need to be noted as strings because, like this FDID, later on some of those start with a letter instead of a number. Currently it's established as a numeric format, so anything that starts with a text is going to just be deleted, and so what has to happen is we have to change this to a string. And there's other characters. I'm going to give you a PDF format that shows you which ones are need to be strings. But for the time being, it is FDID. The next one is going to be this one here, and that needs to be string. After that needs to be version. Department, STA, needs to be string. Let's keep going. The next one after that is this add wild. It's already string. Next one after that is aid. It needs to be a string. We've got 3 of them further down. These are going to be shift, I believe. Where is it? No, right here. Shift is already a string. Alarms are going to be strings. District is going to be a string. Apparatus, that thing's going to be a string. And then the last ones are a bit further out here. Resu aid needs to be a string. And the last one, census, needs to be a string. And again, I'll give you the PDF print off with the ones highlighted. But if we don't import some of these as strings, we lose data, and then the database becomes unusable. So this is an important step. We're going to continue on. It gives you one last look. Right? Everything looks to be okay. And then I'm going to click Done. And again, this is going to take a while because it's a really big package. And so we're going to click Done and pause. Okay, when your import process is done, it took about a minute or two to actually pull all those observations in. You'll get something that looks about like this. We're running out of space on our YouTube video, so I'm probably going to end this part, and we'll start off the next part by kind of getting this in a little bit better format so that we can read it.